Hello there, humans and non-humans. Welcome to another episode of Non-Traditional Headspace. This is your host, Denise. And today's episode is going to be interesting because it's a topic that I have realized that I need to address it, and it will clarify my point of view. So I just want to make sure that you understand that the opinions I'm going to be giving today are mostly from my point of view of things. Just to clarify it. It's not that I have a special, degree on something. I'm not a journalist, right? So it's just about my own personal experience in certain things and the way I look at others that we're going to be talking about. I have my berries because it's berry season here. And by the way, berries are fucking expensive here in France. And it's weird, they're trying to do the whole 0 kilometer thing. But I'm sorry, man. You know how much? This is like almost filled up when you buy it, of course. Almost filled up. But number one, they don't last shit. Like you buy the berries, you take them back home, and you have to either eat them that same day that you bought them, or you just have to eat them next morning, because otherwise you end up with, nasty berries, like rotten berries. That was €4.99, this little thing. It's not big. Whereas sometimes you can find at the same time that you have these French berries available, there's Spanish from Spain. And you get a huge box like this, which I got the other day, that only cost me €6. So the math ain't mathing here, French people. And I get the whole not consuming out of season and consume local and shit. But dude, Macron, you got to do something about the prices here. Like, I don't know, man. And I also have my chai tea, which I'm going to take a sip right now. Good. Okay. And anyway, let's get started, people, because I really want to talk about this. Like, I'm excited about talking about this for some reason. I cannot even explain. So, I have been watching a lot of things about, I told you, I'm doing a certification. I'm almost done. I will be done in a couple of months with a coaching certification. What type of coaching is it? Is it life coaching? Is it mental coach? Is it, I don't know. I just feel like it has illuminated me in so many ways. And I'm doing it. I have said it since the very first moment I ever spoke about it here. I've said it. The reason why I decided to do it was mostly for myself. And I stand to that point because I really want to do it to learn what coaching is. And that need came from, going through everything that I went about the whole ending my relationship. I know I talk about this so much. The relationship with the old company that I was at for more than 9 years, the big multinational, and all the tiny little struggles that I have put a light on to you guys in some of my past episodes. So I had this boss who was a very toxic boss, and he's gonna find it interesting because I think I'm gonna be working with him again in the new company I just got an offer for. And yeah, bitch, I'm coming. And you know what? I've grown. And guess what? I have a certification now. Like, I will have a degree as to what coaching is. And one more thing, biatch, that you know who you are. Yeah, that guy, that toxic boss I had. Whatever you define as coaching and mentoring, that you even wrote it in my development plan that the company had, that you were coaching me. Bullshit, dude. You don't even know what coaching is. And if till this day you continue telling people that you're coaching them and that you're being some kind of mentor, and you keep doing the bullshit that you were doing with me and other people under your charge, guess what? We have freedom of speech. So I'm gonna call you out whenever I can, because it's not fair, you know? Like somebody that is naive, and this is what this episode today is about. Us being naive and falling for shit. And I am guilty. I was guilty back then. I was in my 20s when that happened. And now I'm 37. Everybody knows I'm 37 now. Yeah, I'm kind of getting a little bit excited here. Let me breathe. Because I don't know, like these topics, I tell you, they do something to me. So yeah, just wanted to put that out there. Bitch, I know what coaching is. And no, I'm not trying to become a life coach for anyone. If not, all I want to do is learn and apply it to myself. A little bit of, insight to people here about what I'm talking about and what I have learned so far in my studies of coaching. Coaching has existed for so long. It goes way back to the renowned philosophers that we know. They could be considered, and they are defined actually, as coaches. Socrates is one of them, and also every other student that he had under him. So if they were coaches and mentors in some way, some of them are better defined as mentors, some of them are better defined as coaches. And the thing that you need to know is that a coach will never tell you what to do directly. Okay? That's not the purpose of being a coach. So whoever is selling the lie out there that they're going to be some sort of coach or mentor to you, and what they're going to do is tell you to do what they think is the best thing to do, they're lying to you. Okay? Let me tell you that today. They're lying to you, and they're taking advantage of you, and probably they're profiting from you without having an original idea as to what being a coach or a mentor for someone else is. And that is just, and I have it here written down, the next LMM or pyramid scheme that we're going to be facing for the next years coming up. It has been going on, I think, after the pandemic. A lot of people became that. I'm going to go into that in a little bit. But anyway, that's what I have learned. So it comes way back. There's people that have really coached others through the history of humans, right? Of humanity. And they have helped others. And what they do is they try to, and this is why being a philosopher connects to it, because they try to connect to your inner self, but you as an individual have to make that work. They can try to ask questions in order to spike that interest in you to look inside yourself and try to find the answers to the things that you're trying to find the answers for. But they are at no point in the capability or capacity of telling you what to do directly. Okay? So I hope that clarifies a bit everything about in general, because it's a broad topic speaking about coaching and mentoring. So why am I talking about this today? Well, because, social media is a big thing. I have become addicted more and more, especially now that I have had a lot of time to myself, more addicted to social media, which means I like scrolling through my phone. I like watching things on the internet a lot. Instagram. I'm not addicted to TikTok because I am not the TikTok era person, but I'm sure a lot of you are doing that, which is the same thing I'm doing with Instagram, YouTube especially, and maybe other media out there that I can find. And I start connecting things, and I go into rabbit holes of doing and watching things. So, with that being said, what is the rabbit hole that I went into? Well, I told you, and I'm going to admit this bluntly here, I have fallen for the trap of following people. And it's interesting because one of the guests that I had in this podcast, Ugo, the doctor, I remember he said that he has depurated his social media in order to follow people who are really inspiring and that people who can be of value to his life. And you know what? It has become something that I have come to realization recently because of this thing that I started investigating and putting more attention to right now, which is I should probably do the same thing and really understand the background as to why I'm following certain people on social media. And you should probably consider it too, if you want to. Of course, we're not going to force anyone here to do anything that you don't want to do. Just a suggestion. So I have been following a lot of people. Some of these people, I'm going to call out names today. Mel Robbins. I told you that I shared with you in one of the episodes that I have read recently her 5-second rule book. And I told you there, and I stand by my word today as well, that it's a bit of a cliche. It's a lot of, quoting and thing. And honestly, it's not the best wording in a book that I have found. I read a lot. Okay, that's well known as well. I like to read and I've gone through a lot of books. And there's certain type of lectures that I consider to be very elaborate and well put out there. I wish I could do that one day because I like to write as well. So that book, it has a good message. Yes. Is it a big deal as to what the message is? No, it's probably just counting backwards, 5, 3, 2, 1, waking up, getting your ass up and taking action. But I had heard that theory before, okay? Which is the 3-second rule, not actually 5. And just because it became 5 now, because of this person's realization, now it's become popular and so on and so forth. Which good for her. I like what the content that she's putting up. I have watched a lot of the episodes of her podcast and listened to them and videos, and I follow her on social media. Fine. But you know what I started noticing these days? And I think I mentioned it. I made a little rant about this in one of the recent episodes as well. That all of these people who are there trying to guide others and be certain type of life coaches, like social media life coaching / influencers, they're doing the same thing. And that's what started scaring me because I started noticing it. Like when you go to their profiles, Mel Robbins is doing that. I've seen it. I noticed that she didn't used to do it before, and now she's doing it, which I hope she stops because not cool. And then this guy, Shetty, which has been called upon his bullshit recently. And I've, made my own investigation on it, watched videos, read things, etc., which I'm going to tell you about. But why do I relate Mel Robbins and this guy, Jay Shetty? Well, because Jay Shetty is being called out right now for not being an authentic person. Which is shitty because I totally disagree. I disagree with the whole cancel culture because now people are too sensitive, in my opinion. Okay? And we need to stop being too sensitive and too over judgmental of others. But the problem is that when anyone decides to go in this world of social media, we are all exposed to this, which is getting scrutinized and judged, and people are going to build you up. But at the same time, once you're up, there will be a lot of haters or people who are just out there to try to tear you down at the same time, which is part of what is going on. And I'll give you another example about how that is going on in the whole cancel culture thing related to this. But so far, everything that I've seen about Jay Shetty everything that I've seen so far and read so far about Jay Shetty kind of makes sense, which I'm just gonna throw in vague things that I've seen, read, heard of, watched, whatever. You're saying that the guy is not who he claims to be because he has apparently a book called Being a Monk or something. I don't know what the name is. And like he was already exposed. And then I came to one episode that I usually watch a little bit of her stuff, but not all of it. I'm not like a serious follower of her things, but I knew her because I love Chelsea Handler's humor. So that's why I know her from there, which is Heather McDonald. Okay. And now she has her own thing going on called The Juicy Scoop. And then she had this guy called John McDermott. Now, John is a freelance journalist who used to work, and I hope that they keep giving him work, for Esquire. And then he wrote this article for The Guardian, and he has done a lot of freelance journalism aside from that, okay? Now, John McDermott comes and talks to Heather, and he has been publicly speaking about this after he wrote the article as well, as to why people should, like, he says it, you know, like, I'm not telling you to unfollow or to stop listening to this person, and he's speaking about Jay Shetty. I'm just telling you that we need to be more conscious about what we're doing with these people. And the thing is that we put these people in pedestals, and that's the problem that we have. We idealize certain people because we say, oh my God, they're so smart. They have figured something out. And they seem to be doing so well because, yes, they're making profit that's making them have a better lifestyle that all of us aim to have. And possibly that's the reason why people are doing this. Like, some people would judge and say, that's why you're doing a podcast probably, because you want to monetize. Guess what? I'm just paying for my money for this, the whole editing and everything. So I don't know. Will I monetize? I don't know. Make me famous, people. And you can dig whatever you want. Guess what? I don't care. Because that's what's happening with me right now. I'm not afraid of speaking my mind out. But that's not the point. So this Jay Shetty guy and John McDermott talks about how he is not authentic and how he caught him in a bit of lies, which is part of his exposure to Hare Krishna before he even wrote the book about being a monk, and that therefore that was not the first enlightening moment that he claims to have had about being in a situation where a monk, you know, made him reflect on his entire life apparently and become this illuminated person that feels like he is capable of marrying Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck and tell them how to portray a better life after his guidance or something. I don't know. That's the word on the street. Okay, and that's actually something that is a fact that happened. The guy married Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck. When it started getting fishy to me is because even before I found this about John McDermott talking about him and all the other people calling him out on the internet, is that I had already noticed this in his profile, which is the same thing, again, that I have noticed in Mel's, Mel Gibson, I was going to say, Mel Robbins profile, which is they start reposting things like quotes and phrases that other people have said, and they seem to be claiming they put in the names of people and everything, which I have done in my profile for the podcast as well. Not an issue. But suddenly he has made a mistake of saying things and appropriating them as if they were his, and that's just wrong, which I hope Mel, because I said, like, she started doing it recently, reposting things, and I know that they have a bigger platform, so it makes other people, you know, have a bigger scope as to where you can find something that somebody that has no exposure like they have, because they're so big and they have such a big following, they can find you. Like if they shared a phrase that I wrote, for example, that would be awesome. Like I would feel flattered. But at the same time, we gotta be careful because we don't know what the behind story is, which seems to be Jay's situation here. Like he has been doing this, appropriating people's ideas, phrases, and etc., and making them sound like if they all came from his illuminated self after being a monk, which also makes me reflect on something that I know about, which is, I mean, this guy says he went to India and he did some kind of, immersion in some type of Buddhist formation. Like the person who is my partner now has a friend, which by the way, I'm being unapologetically honest here, okay? I don't give a shit, like I said. So there's friends of him that of course are not my friends. We don't have to be best friends, okay? With everybody our partners are friends with, by the way. So this guy who goes back and forth to India, that is his friend, and he's like a programmer, and he does shit like that. He has his company who he can run remotely. So what he does is he takes his ass to India every 3 or 4 years, or I don't know how much. Like he goes there and he meditates in a cave, apparently, I don't know, and eats yak butter, and that's it. And then here's where I call the bullshit. And here's how I can relate to the fact that people are calling Jay Shetty on his bullshit as well. Because just because you go to India and you meditate for a year there and you kind of learn to throw in some words that you learn, of Tibetan, I don't know how to even say it in English, Tibetan, okay, in Spanish. That doesn't make you an illuminated person, and that doesn't make you like you're above others. And I'm saying that, and I'm calling that guy out because that, like the friend of my partner out, because you know what? The bitch can be also very judgmental. I know that he has been judgmental of me. I know that he is my boyfriend's friend, and therefore he might be a little protective over their friendship. But I ain't fighting for being your friend, bitch. I don't care. But don't address me like trying to diminish me and stuff like that. And then try to talk to me about your bullshit about being a Buddhist illuminated person that meditates every 2 years. And you go on road trips on a bike on India out of the company that you are profiting from selling programming packages for very well-paying companies, like you see like the double standard there. Like what would Jesus say? I'm just saying, what would Buddha say? What would the Dalai Lama say? What would Mother Teresa say? Bitch, yeah, I said it. So miss me on that with your bullshit. Jairo. Bye. Okay, now let's move on because that got too personal, I think. So the whole Jay Shetty thing is that, like they're calling him out. They're saying he's not authentic. They're saying that he's lying about a lot of things. Guess what? What do I have to say about that? I get it. If he's lying about that, take a sip here to calm down after that personal thing I said. If he is lying about who he is and he's just money grabbing, which I think he is, because the moment when you start, associating yourself with that celebrity status and celebrity Hollywood people who we all know they're fucked up, half of them or more than half of them, there's something wrong with those people. Like they're fucked up. Whether it was because they were exploited as children when they were becoming actresses or actors or singers or whatever, or this whole madness about being a celebrity already makes you a little cuckoo on the head. So the moment like this monk figure starts associating with celebrities and marrying, I'm gonna say this, like I like her music, I dance to her music, I go with the flow in a lot of things. Like I'm not Mother Teresa, that's for sure. So marrying Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck, like, come on, dude. Which is a relationship that if I had to bet on it, I wouldn't. Okay? Like, come on, what's up with that? Are you being true to yourself? Like, who are you kidding? Who are we kidding? Like, how much did you get paid for that? Like, it's just something's not adding up with that, you know? And that's where John McDermott calls him out, and he says he proposed to have the launching of the article to Esquire, who he addressed at first because he was working for them at the moment, and they decided to shut it down because they are associated with other celebrity figures as well, and they didn't want to affect their image. So finally, The Guardian took it, published it, and now it's going out, and I'm glad that he's able to talk about it. And he's making a moment for himself as well. But guess what? He actually made the investigation. So he's earning his pennies, man. Like, I'm not judging him for that either. So what I'm going to say is Mel, Jay Shetty, and now I'm going to talk about other people after this. Mel and Jay, I will still keep following them on social media because I kind of like part of the content. Will I swear over their content and that their methods and their entire suggestions should be followed strictly? No. Okay, and that's what I have learned from all of this, that again, we should not keep people on pedestals, idealizing people and thinking that, you know, they're just way smarter than we are just because they have a more intuitive side to their mental health or whatever. All of us are going through shit. That's a fact. With that, I want to move on to other people, and these are personal experiences that I've had. Because I'm talking about this, I feel like I want to share. Like Mary Llewellyn, Bloom. I could even go to my counter right now and pull some of the products that I have. I have the BCAA, and I also have the electrolytes, and I also got the super greens, which I got from Amazon when I was still in Guatemala before I moved here to France. So by now they shouldn't be in great shape. But when I first got the super greens that she sells, I tried it, and for me, this is me, I got them from Amazon, and they had like the Amazon approval, you know, that it was legit. I got it, I tasted it, it tastes like shit. Okay? I don't care whatever is. If somebody offers me to try it, I'll try it. But I won't buy another bottle of that shit because I bought it from my money and it tasted like shit. So I'm not gonna buy it, and it was not cheap. So I'm not buying it again. Miss me on that one again. And then, you know, when I was still working at the old company that I know I talk about a lot, I reached out to her because I saw that they were expanding. And I kind of got caught up in her story, you know, like I was so impressed, like the whole journey that she had, losing weight, blah, blah, blah. I follow her podcast. I also have it in my list of podcasts. And I sent her a message, and then I have sent a couple of more messages. I told her that I was starting a podcast as well. Never responded. Like, never responded. Like, not even, I don't know. Like, I don't know what is the determination of somebody saying this is like cloud chase, but sometimes it's normal people that we are really hoping that you, who were a mere mortal that nobody knew, that was overweight, and I don't care if I sound judgmental by saying this, but let's be honest here. Let's call things by their name. So you were no one. You had this journey. You lost weight. Good for you. You look great, by the way. But all of a sudden now you're not able to answer few like messages that you get? Because I'm sure, I can bet, like I'm sure that's how it is. Sorry, she has people doing that for her. Let me tell you something. Whoever is doing that for you can kiss my ass. Okay? Because I made the approach type, and I even like posted, like listening to one of the episodes that I liked, and I put it like with a nice background, and like I tagged the profile there. Never reposted anything in her profile as well. And that's when I say, fuck these people, this is the type of people that we're idealizing all the time. And that we expect that they are relatable, but they're not. Why wouldn't she repost it? And then I started kind of looking at the reposts that they ever do in her profile of people who like are listening to, what you can do, that you're on Spotify and then you can share on Instagram that you're listening to the podcast and it shows up in your story or whatever. And I realized that it's only like hipster, cool people that have good following. Well, I'm not those people. I'm just like an X in space, for sure. I'm no one. I'm no one, actually. And I'm fine with that. And again, you can kiss my ass. Okay, you don't want to repost my shit? And then I figured out, okay, I'm not, don't repost my shit. And yes, I'm offended. Like, and maybe, I know, I've read about it. I know, don't take things personally. I know. But since we're being honest today here, bitch, your greens taste nasty to me. Okay? And your team, because I'm not even going to blame it on her directly, because she probably doesn't even know about what's going on, I want to think. Your team sucks. Like, at least just have like the decency of saying, you know what, thanks for your comment, bye. Like, I don't even expect anything. Just normal, decent human reaction, to somebody reaching out in general. It's not like I'm trying to become a stalker or anything, which I'm not. I'm not even close to you. That's the one. And the thing one more thing I want to say about this person. Like, I still follow her, like I said. I still like part of the content. I like the concept because it's well done. Like, whoever is doing the whole branding and marketing behind it has done a great job. Like, the only thing that I don't like is that, again, we're putting these people on pedestals and idealizing these people so much that, we are the enablers for certain things to happen. I'm not against about the fact that she and her, I think it's husband, right? Yeah, her husband have done so well business-wise with the whole brand, launching of her brand as Bloom, etc. I'm okay with that. Like, bravo, 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 freaking bravo. Yeah, and it's not the Real Housewives. But what I mean is, I'm okay with that. Not a problem. Glad that somebody's doing well. I wish it was me. I'm honest. Like, I wish it was me. I wish it was my story, actually. Like, I see you that you're making so much money out of it. Like, I see it. You know how I see it? Because you're flaunting it all over the internet as well. Like, again, I get it. You're doing well. Both of you and your husband have done a great job. But I think, and this is just, again, I told you today, this is my opinion on things. Who am I? No one, again. But you should consider flaunting less all of your success, because it's not well taken probably by everyone. You know why? Because most people out there are still struggling to make something of themselves, going through difficult situations, and it's kind of unrelatable now. You started well, But it's getting to a point where it's getting unrelatable, because it's getting to a point where it's unattainable. For, have you checked out, because she lives in the US, have you checked out like the statistics in the US? Like, I've shared this here before in another episode, like how much people have in their savings account. Have you ever like stopped for a minute? I bet you were one of those people before, or maybe not. Maybe you have been privileged. I mean, we all have circumstances, and your life situation doesn't have to be everybody else's, but I think we need to be a little bit more sensitive as to what we're putting out there. And I am guilty about that, because I am part of the people who are only posting things on social media that are the nice things, because who wants to post about the bad things, or when you look ugly, or when you look like you have a double chin like this? Like, I'm not posting those pictures, I know. But guess what? Nobody is, because nobody wants to be seen in their worst side. And no, just because, I mean, I'm diverting here. I better change the topic here. But that is my suggestion. Stop flaunting so much your success, because it's unrelatable. And that's all I'm going to say about that situation there. And then I want to share about this other person, Coral Mujaes, which I don't know why, you know, the algorithm and blah, it appeared in my feed. I liked a couple of posts that kept appearing, and then I decided to follow. And after following, of course, you started getting all the notifications of new stories, new posts, whatever. And I even got notifications when this person was doing lives and everything. So apparently she's this type of coach. Like so you know what? In these days when I was feeling down and everything, I saw something that she published about do these things in order to be successful. You should do these things in order to be successful in your 30s, something like that. So I'm like, I'm gonna give this a try. Let me see what this is about. And this, I did it. Like, nobody's telling me about this. I did it, and I don't have proof because I deleted her from my profile. So, but I have an email that I got after I supposedly was on the way to getting this plan of helping me improve my life. So this person is selling the dream out there of changing your life, you know, of some sort of life coach or mentor on how to become, you know, successful and invest and knowledgeable about these things, which is again the dream that we're being sold on social media most of the time, that everybody thinks that they're going to be wealthy if they start becoming like freelancers and, you know, digital nomads around the world, living in islands, sipping on pina coladas and being on a laptop, and then you get paid $200,000 a month. That's not the reality. And if that's certain people's reality, there's a very few percentage, let me tell you, of those people in the world. Not that you couldn't be. I'm not trying to, you know, make anyone's dream go away entirely, but at the same time, it's like, let's just stop trying to fool ourselves sometimes, because we are. And I say we because I have also kind of done it for myself, you know, thinking, what if, like daydreaming of what if I could be one of them, you know, these successful people who are investing in cryptos and then you become a millionaire. Like, I don't know, like, I'm not smart enough to understand that. I'm just not, for example. So this Coral Mujaes woman, I clicked, and then I knew it was a scam. Like, this is a scam, and I'm calling it a scam, and I don't care. You can go pay her. I'm not gonna do it. I knew I wasn't gonna do it. So you jump in the DMs. I sent her a message, like, because if you wanted to participate, let's say that they use a clickbait word, you know, like comment I don't know, watermelon, and I'll get back to you. So I did that. I commented watermelon. She got back to me, or whoever, her team or whatever, and they asked me what a little bit about myself and what was going on with my life. And then they sent a few encouraging sentences there, and then they had an automated message that they sent, which said, like, go into this link and get your, I don't know, life started, to whatever the message was. Okay. And then, you go into the link, and guess what I found? How much, like, it's a questionnaire. Okay. You get questions asked, and the questions start getting a little bit weird, to a point where they ask you, how much are you willing to invest in your, let's say, in your future? And they have fucking options like less than $500 US, less than $10,000 US, less than $20,000 US, less than 100,000, less than 200,000. And when I saw those ranges, I'm like, who the fuck is clicking 200,000 for this person who they don't even really know? And based on what she's like claiming to have done for other people, just decide to do this. And it reminded me of something that I had learned from a friend I visited last year in the US, where she has another person there who claims to be doing like this type of like coaching for people, like entrepreneurial type of coaching, and helping to guide people to become entrepreneurial success. When let's just be honest, like, this is the friend of my friend that I visited last year, that she told me about it. Like, you know what's so funny? That this person has never done a successful business from scratch on her own. Like, she actually broke a company. But yet, they're out there selling this fucking dream. And again, going back to this Coral Mujer. So, guess what option did I click? Just give it a guess. Because I was like, okay, until they asked me to transfer or to pay or to put my card details, I'm going to keep going, digging just to see where this leads. And so I did. So I clicked, yes, I clicked on the less than 500. And you guess what happened? They never got back to me again. Because guess what? I'm not interesting enough. I'm not naive enough. And I think my profile can let them know that I'm not a stupid bitch. I'm not. Okay? I might be mentally unstable at times. And that's because of life situations. And all of you are too. So I don't even feel guilty about it. But I ain't stupid. So I clicked on the less than 500 option. And I did not subscribe to anything because I'm not interested in paying shit after I saw that. And then it never got back to me again. Which is interesting because I wonder how many people are buying the bullshit and paying them. Which I assume there is, because if this person keeps making money out of it and living a lifestyle, because they put on a life with a lifestyle that they build from this type of offers that they make of, packages of coaching and packages of entrepreneurial, teaching to people. I don't know. What I mean is, it's a scam. It's a damn scam, people. It's a damn scam. Which this person, like the friend of the friend, they always talk about it. And I have been seeing these in my social media as well, in my feeds. A lot of people talking about the bullshit of high ticket sales and coaching. High ticket sales and coaching my ass. Okay? Again, one more thing that I can call out to kiss my tanned ass. Okay? High ticket bullshit. You broke a company. You have never built anything from scratch, and yet you want to come and sell me a package that costs what, $15,000 to help me orient me as to what should I do to increase my following, to increase my potential in my business. And what would you know? What the fuck would you know? So I'm just putting it out there. Be careful. Be careful in general, because this is about to go batshit crazy in general as well, with the whole AI thing as well. It's just gonna get worse. You won't even realize if you're talking to a robot at some point, just selling you bullshit, okay? Or let's just be careful, again, going back to the initial topic here, as to the people that we're following, to the people that we're looking up to so blindly and thinking that, oh, they have what I want. Sometimes you just need to have more self-confidence and more self-love. And I think that's what a lot of us are lacking. And I say us because I include myself there. Why would I idealize certain people that I don't even know? That truthfully, they don't give a damn. And they have shown me in very few ways, like I shared about the Mary with her bloom shit and the messages I sent. They don't care. They don't give a shit about who you are. That's the truth. And what can I do? Should I go crying to a corner because of that? No. Move on, bitch. I'm gonna enjoy a rotten strawberry that cost me $4.99 per package, I guess. And hey, I'm not trying to be anybody's role model, but if I inspire you in some way, if I inspire anyone out there in some way to be better, that's already enough for me. That's already enough for me. Because that's the same thing I'm looking out for. And that's the reason why, like I told you, I will decide later on if I catch more bullshit, I probably will unfollow. But if I don't, and I like the content, I like the quotes, I like to read inspirational shit. I'm a sucker for self-development bullshit. I am. So I won't unfollow these people. Like, in certain ways, they inspire me to try to be better. So I will not stop unfollowing them for that. But if you start getting like this guy, Shetty, and he starts pushing, a lot of celebrity things in his profile, I will unfollow, because that's not my thing. So we can do whatever we want at the end of the day. High ticket or not. And I'm going to close with this. Being careful, again, and I talked about cancel culture at the beginning and all that. I don't agree with it. And I think there's a limit as to how we judge things. Like, this is the way I have judged these things, I talked to you about Mel. I talked to you about Shetty. I talked to you about Mary Llewellyn and Bloom. And I have other people on my list that I could talk, but this would be a damn ass long episode. I talked about this Coral Mojales, which is in Spanish, but because there's so many characters out there targeting different people from different regions of the world as well. So yeah, it goes a long way here. If you have someone that you think should be, judged in a more profound way by people, leave a comment, because I would like to know. Maybe I follow them and I don't even know that I am not paying enough attention either to certain things. But when I say that we have to pay attention as to the judgments that we're making on the things that we're seeing and reading and, watching, is because that's what's happening with Dr. Huberman, And I know there was an article also in the New York, I think it's the New York Times, New York Post. I'm not Gotta check that name specifically there as to where exactly. But somebody also published an article and they did a little bit of digging. And apparently they're trying to portray the guy as a womanizer, which he might be. Because apparently at some point, this was maybe before he was even like very, very popular as he is now. They have a person in the article that was a past relationship of him, and she talks about him being unfaithful, and him being unfaithful at the same time he was, you know, seeing or talking to 6 different people, fucking around the place, because he started probably getting more popular. So, I mean, these things happen, you know. These things happen because, I don't know, fame can do that. And especially if you're a man, I can see that easily happening, you know, getting the attention, and, well, temptation is there, and you have access to beautiful women, and parenthesis here, I shared with you in an episode about domestic abuse and violence that I was with a very toxic person. So part of that situation was kind of what they're talking about Dr. Huberman, which is funny to me. I laugh about it now. But the fact that they're saying that he was seeing 6 people at the same time, this guy I found in his computer because I was filling up a formula for something else, like a, you know, something for a medical, I don't know what. And then for some reason, yeah, I kind of clicked in the wrong place, and I found that he had a schedule with names per day of the week as to who he was going to see and call and da 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 da. So yeah, that I'm listening to this coming up about Dr. Huberman, not surprising. Like, that doesn't give me a good impression about him. But what I will say about that, because I am a follower of his work and I like what he's doing as well, I am not idealizing him. He's human. And guess what? He's fucking up in that area, and I hope he rectifies it, and I hope he changes. But that shouldn't let you take away everything else that he has done, which is a very good job at putting out there a very great focus on mental issues and mental health, you know, and describing what the scientific solutions are to each one of the common problems that people are going through. And he's very professional at doing that. So I'm not going to take that away from him. And the fact that they're trying to cancel him, and it's kind of, you might say it's kind of, Denise, it's kind of the same thing that you talked about that guy, the journalist John McDermott, doing about Jay Shetty. Yeah, but Dr. Huberman is not plagiarizing. Dr. Huberman is not claiming things that he's not. You know, I don't think he has ever said, oh, I'm this like monk kind of like ideal figure. That if you think about a monk, what do you think? You think about somebody just very pure, because they're trying to, you know, detach themselves from everything that is wrong in this world. And monks, I'm gonna end it here with this. One thing I'm sure is that monks don't have social media. Yeah. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this episode. Watch out. I know I'm going to keep watching out, and I'm just going to try to end this nasty addiction I have to social media right now. I'm sure it's going to end because I'm going to start working. I don't promise to stop making posts of stupid memes and reposting cliche self-development quotes, but this is talking about my personal social media. And I'm gonna try to rectify the fact that I like to gossip, although I read somewhere that gossip is good. So I don't know, so many things that I need to improve. Again, who isn't dealing with something? All of us are. So I'm here with you. Hope you have a great day ahead, and week, and month, and year. And I'll see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share. I really want to get messages from people trying to connect. Please, please, I like that. I like people giving in their comments. And don't be afraid. We're not here to judge people, are we? So see you next time. Bye.